1886 is the latest offering from Sony. This game was developed by Ready at Dawn Studios, who at this point has been best known for PSP titles, such as God of War and Daxter.
Now, the Order 1886 has promised a very unique vision. I mean, well, it has to, right? It says so on the back of the box, so it's gotta be true, right? Well, be that as it may, despite having stayed away from other critics and those type of reviewers, it didn't take much for word of mouth to spread around that this game may not live up to the hype.
Now, at first we were unsure, but as we sat down and played this game, the reasons did start to manifest themselves. But is this a bad game? It's truly a mystery, but the beauty of games like this is truly in the eye of the beholder, and personal preference on what you may look for in a game. But be that as it may, here's our review of The Order 1886.
I'm your host, William Morris.
I'm your co-host, Eugene Morris.
Now, the major strength of The Order 1886 comes from its presentation. Now, admittedly, we are really heavily diverse into this kind of storytelling, and that part of the game was never put into question. Given from what we've seen prior in trailers, it was clear that at the very least we were going to see something amazing in terms of visuals. Set in the late 19th century, you take control of main character Sir Galahad, a member of an organization that apparently is known as the Knights of the Round Table. Without spoiling the plot, their main goal is to serve and protect their crown and kingdom from any potential threats, be it human or something else entirely.
The visuals of the game are probably some of the best we've ever seen in current gaming. Admittedly, we are new to the new generation of consoles, and we hadn't yet really seen a major upgrade from the last gen. This one does demonstrate the power of the PlayStation 4, as these graphics look as real as we've ever seen. The characters, the backgrounds, and the images you can pick up and look at all look amazing. And we found ourselves very impressed, as there were no immediate graphical problems at all. Well, save for a couple of glitches here and there, but nothing to ruin the overall experience. When it comes to the gameplay, this is the part where this adventure will shatter in front of your eyes, or you'll at least give it a shot.
For the most part, the Order 1886 appears to have a form of identity crisis, as there is a lot of mechanics that mix and mesh together and isn't exactly paced well. One moment you're strolling along with little to no control, the next moment you're running and gunning while avoiding fire, the next moment you find yourself in a series of QTEs, and even then you may find yourself in a new gameplay style altogether. Theatrics is probably the best way to describe it. The Order focuses on so much that you hardly have time to appreciate the gameplay you're experiencing. Needless to say, because of this, and the story it's trying to tell, the cutscenes can and do go on for a while. You know, ultimately, it feels like this game probably would have been far better off if it was treated or made as a movie and not a video game altogether. And you know, that might have been what the company was planning to do in the first place, by making it a truly cinematic experience as much as possible. But in doing so, you really kind of have to put into a question, is it really a video game at all, or is it just a movie with gameplay tidbits sprinkled in here and there?
Now, this may be fine if you're into that type of thing, but if not, it can become very frustrating. You will find that the game is very linear, and you will be forced into a lot of scripted scenarios. Push the button here, push the button there, quickly before you get shot in the face. This also unintentionally brings forward a contradiction. During the battle phases, your hero can take quite a few bullets before he's knocked down and needs an elixir to revive. Yet in these quick time events, one bullet is enough to take him out. Scenes like this happen fairly often, and should you fail, you're forced to do it again until you get it right. But with that being said, even if you do die, there is zero consequences for losing, no matter what the situation. If you die, you immediately respawn in the same room. And you might need this because there are gunslinging parts in this game where you will face large hordes of enemies.
We find this as a kind of a trick to make the game feel longer than it really is. Why exactly? Well, we hate to break it to you, but this game is very short. As a hardcore gamer, you could beat it in one sitting. But if you're a casual gamer, 3 sittings max and the game will be over. Another thing we found too, going back to the pacing issue, we found that there were times where you find yourself breezing through the story, and then all of a sudden, the Order 1886 hits you upside your head with a huge difficulty curve. Again, fortunately, there are zero consequences for failure, so there is no real issue. Just expect to be doing a lot of areas again and again and again.
In the tradition of any third-person shooter, you have an abundance of weaponry that you can choose from on the fly. You can only carry 2 in the battle, 1 heavy one and 1 pistol.
By gunning down enemies, you can steal any of their weapons and ammunition, keeping yourself armed and ready. Basic stuff. When close enough to a certain enemy, you can immediately hit the action button, and by action we mean triangle, and do a quick kill. And by quick kill we mean... Damn, he likes that move.
Only certain enemies are affected by this though. The hit ratio for the most part we found to be really good, but there's also plenty of times you would swear on your grave you made the shot multiple times, but it doesn't register. The voice acting, sound effects, and score are all movie quality. So, at the very least, the storytelling will keep you engrossed in the game. But really, this is the type of game that you would probably play once, get invested, beat it, and then never play it again. This game strikes us as a combo platter of The Heavy Rain and The Last of Us, set in the time period of stories akin to Sherlock Holmes, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and steampunk.
For those interested in lichens or werewolves, they might as well be extinct, as sometimes in the midst of the plot you can totally forget about them altogether. When they are around, they do make quite a scene. And they are a breath of fresh air, given we've been swarmed with zombies for the past few years. Another warning, this game is very much for mature audiences only. Not only is it over the top with violence and profanity, but it also has complete out-of-nowhere sex scenes, complete with penis shots and breasts. This is not a game for little Billy.
For what the Order 1886 offers, it does it fairly competently. Be that as it may, there's just really not a whole lot to this package in general. So if you're really intent on buying a game like this, we would highly recommend waiting for a severe price drop, as there's just far too much of a money grab for there to be such little enjoyment out of this. So, in the end, we give the Order 1886 a 6.5 out of 10. Hate mail, let it rain.
Now, hold on, we're not saying this is a bad game. We are saying, though, that this is a niche title, and it's one where we can wait for the price tag to reach $19.99.
That's our story, and we're sticking to it. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching the Brotherhood of Gaming Video Game Show. I'm your host, William Morris.
I'm your co-host, Eugene Morris.
Representative of Superman.
And Batman.
Now, of course, before you go, please hear us out. You can check out our brand new gameplay channel where you can see a Let's Play featuring said game. And also be sure to visit our Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and all of that stuff so you can follow us and keep up with our latest trends, such as Twitch feeds maybe. Maybe we'll be live streaming. And also, there's the Patreon. You can willingly donate if you want to, or we will make you do it. Have a good night, viewers.